Welcome to the first installment of the RC Bench car series, and today I found it fitting to start with the first Tamiya vehicle I bought when I finally got back into the hobby maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But since then, this Tamiya Hotshot re-release has gone through a lot of changes and a lot of reconfiguration. When I first got this, I have some older videos where I modified the steering to correct some issues with the toe-in when the suspension compresses. I also was running a brushless system in it, the Castle Creations Sidewinder 4 with a 3800 kV motor. The car was pretty fast, however, it did melt the little gear in the front of the front transmission that reverses the rotation of the drivetrain. So I just replaced it with the stock one. I was going to try to print a replacement, but I wasn't as successful then as I may be now, so I might revisit that. So I took the brushless system out and I replaced it with just a standard. I think I have the standard Tamiya. Oh, this is the TBLE 04 in here right now. It's tough to see in there. You might be able to, with a fan on it. And a TZ motor is in here right now. So that should take the strain off the drivetrain. I did install the MIP diffs on this when I first got it, and wasn't that easy to do. I wouldn't really do it again. However, this car has the MIP ball diffs, so I'm stuck with their drive shafts, which are a larger dog bone end. So in the rear, I'm still running the standard dog bone setup that comes with the MIP kit. It's tough to zoom in on that. Let's see. You can see. Yeah, it works okay. I haven't had any issues wearing the washers out on the diff, and however, because I wanted universals in the front, I did some cannibalization, and I may redo this, of some CC01 hubs and dog bones, and I just cut the end of the MIP bone off that goes into the diff cup and then connected them with an aluminum shaft in order to get the universal, so I wasn't spitting out dog bones anymore, because I also reworked the steering on this so I could actually get some Ackerman and a little bit extra steering radius. So I think I've succeeded. I got a little bit of droop on the suspension and a decent amount of travel. As you can see, I went to the Hotshot, the Super Shot suspension arms or towers for the shocks, as well as the high cap, Tamiya high caps. And I put, because I wore out the oval block tires, I put on the pin spikes from the Hotshot Super Shot. I'm not sure if the Hotshot 2, I believe the Hotshot 2 also had these. They look nice. They're not going to last long if I run them. The oval blocks are way more durable and actually a pretty good tire. Just maybe not as good looking. So I think I'm not going to probably run this car that much. And because of that, you know, I can always swap these tires off if I want. I did print a set of replacement wheels modeled after the original in black. I'm running some aluminum wheel adapters, hub adapters underneath, and also running the Factory Works composite fiberglass chassis. Yeah, there's not much left of it, because I'll go into more detail. There's not much left of the original car, the cage, the transmissions, some of the transmissions. You got the sway bars on still, front and rear, which is, you don't get that unless you have the original Hotshot. The Super Hotshot, I think, because they relocate the shocks in a couple different configurations. The Super Hotshot, I believe, still has the front sway bar, but eliminated the rear sway bar. Did I say Super Hotshot? I meant Hotshot 2. The Super Hotshot eliminated the front sway bar and kept the rear sway bar because they kept the springs behind the axle, where the Hotshot 2 has the springs in front of the axle. And obviously Hotshot 1 and 2 had that single mono spring in the front, whereas the Super Shot went to this type of design. In order to, let me take the body off. In order to kind of do what I wanted with this car, one of the main things was I did not like the original front skid plate. It hung down and mounted to the bottom of the chassis, which was gross, I think. This is a smooth. Let's see how well I can show you that. I think this is the way to go. Looks nice, huh? This is just PLA Pro or Plus, and all the parts on here are PLA. Besides the A-arms, the suspension arms are nylon, carbon fiber. So these are all custom arms, so I could mount the shocks and the sway bars. Here's the back end. Sway bars in the original location. Couple different mounting locations for the shocks here. Good amount of travel. It's pretty smooth. So I had to redo the upper shock mount configuration in a similar, way. Come on. To match the front end with that cross brace. This was a little tricky to get this all to fit in here, especially with retaining the sway bar, but I did it. I did reverse, I believe I have these on backwards so I could get the spring mount forward, the shock mount forward, so that it would fit in between the sway bar and the drag link. Sorry, I'm not too great at this. So we all fit nice and no colliding of the parts. Even when we turn, we're real close, but we have clearance, we're not bumping. So, and kind of also redid the front. I put a brace across the chassis, the transmissions, which also where the suspension links mount. It's not, I don't have adjustable points, but that's easy enough to change if needed. But that solves one of the weak points of this chassis being torn apart, with the suspension arms pulling on each side of the transmission. So rear uppers and lowers have been done. I did print new, I'm never gonna get this right, new knuckles, rear knuckles. They're two-piece knuckles. I can take this apart and show you. But the suspension is real soft, really absorbs bumps well now. Granted, it's not as soft as the front end was, which was almost you know, no dampening effect. Then the rear obviously has its own issues with the monoshock. That linkage can bind and build up a lot of friction, so that's eliminated. But we do have adjustable tie rods, adjustable steering links, and adjustable tie rods in the rear. I did design a cockpit / radio tray, and let's see if I have to find a battery. It is designed to fit a shorty pack like that. 2S slides right in, and yeah, it doesn't stick out like the original design. Take these wires off to rearrange the wires to get the body on, but you get the idea. It's a nice fit. I have not yet designed a way to lock that battery, and that'll come at some point when I get back into this project. It would be nice to be able to show you the steering a little bit better. Let's see if I can get up here. So there's like a double bell crank steering in here. See that? And I was able to get it to connect under the transmission and avoid any sort of collision of components. It was pretty tricky. I'm not quite fully complete with it or satisfied with it, but it's way better than it was, and it's pretty unique, so I like that aspect of it. I'm running a vintage, see if we can, Airtronics servo in here that is, I paid probably at least $100 for it back in the 90s when I was racing nitro trucks. It is get my glasses up here. If I can find them. It is Airtronics Servo 94155, and it's aluminum gears, and it is very fast. I might be able to fire this up and show you, maybe. But I always love the look of this car. I know it has a lot of flaws, and that's why I can't help but change things, but I still want it to look like a Hotshot. So I wanted to use, upgrades that look correct, keep this unique shock tower system in the front, and then retain the roll bar. Use Tamiya tires. But just make little improvements here and there because the car is really nice looking. I'm using the stock body. I kept the original livery. So, and this car handled really well. I thought the wheelbase was a little short, so it was pretty nimble on, driving on pavement. I increased the wheelbase. I don't know what it was originally, but now it is about, let's see if I can get this straight. It's about 10 7/8 wheelbase. Someone will have to check on what the original wheelbase was. But let me see if I can do this without having it drive off the table. Switch my model. Hotshot. Yes. Take the body off. So I do have the receiver in here. I can at least show you So this is not, I haven't finished these front axles, so I can drive it, but it'll be 3-wheel drive. But I'm not going to drive it. I'm just going to pop this in, figure out where my switch is. Somewhere in here. Probably demounted it. It's been a while since I looked at this thing. I'm not going to be able to find the freaking switch. I'll find it. That wire is there. So it's not on. Sorry, I'm not editing my videos yet. I'm not that sophisticated. So you're going to have to bear with me. Let's unplug this. You can watch me fiddle around with this foolish thing. Look at all where the wires go. Oh, I see it. I stuck the switch. Okay, so the switch is mounted. I forgot. It's mounted on that ESC plate right in front of the motor. So you reach in there and you flip it on and off. It's actually pretty smart of me to do that, I guess. I don't say so. If I do say so myself. Sorry, the radio's on. Let's just make sure this isn't going to fly off the table. Okay, it turned on. It doesn't like something. We're going to shut it off. And we're going to reboot this controller. Shut it down. I'm going to turn it on. And you probably can't hear a thing I'm saying because I'm mumbling and my microphone sucks. We'll redo this video. Doesn't like it. I might have to rebind this. I did upgrade the firmware. Let's see if we can rebind this thing. Yeah, I probably forgot how to use this foolish radio already. System. Let's see. Gotta edit. I'm gonna have to edit this system. Okay, we got. We're gonna put this in. Power it on. And we're gonna bind. Start binding. Got it. Wow, not as fast as I thought it was. Power you on. Smooth sounding car. Yeah, I guess it's fast. I think it's 0.07 seconds for a 60-degree rotation. So there you have it. So big improvement to steering. And I think, overall performance. And it still looks like it should. Always gonna like this car. So, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I do have all these parts designed. Yeah, this nylon softens up over time. Once it's real dry, it's brittle. So when you print it, it's brittle. When it sits out in the environment, it will get some flex to it, which is good. So when you ram it into something, if you're going to run it, it probably won't break. Yeah, I gotta fix my bench, that way it won't break. So I think in the rear maybe you could use a little heavier weight oil. The front I think is really good. Obviously it's much heavier in the rear. I just haven't had a chance to change the oil, plus I don't know how much, if I'm going to run this much anyway, so I already ran the heck out of it and rebuilt everything and decided to modify the heck out of it. So yeah, that's my Hotshot re-release, and until the next time, thanks for watching. Take care.